right, tonight the subject's going to be car scanners. You're like, what is a car scanner? The point of a car scanner is you can plug this sucker into your car underneath the dash and look in the computer of your car, and it's going to tell you if there's problems, and it's going to give you codes that help you diagnose issues with your car. So without further ado, we're going to start digging into it. Talk to you guys later. We're going to talk about types of scanners and what you're going to get for what you pay. There's two levels of scanners that I think the way I like to describe them. One is the hobbyist scanner, and then the other is the more professional scanner. In the hobbyist scanner, you're probably right around under $200, and then when you get into the professional scanner, you're up into $500, $600 in scanning. And they can be used for multiple vehicles, multiple brands, and do extreme levels of diagnostic. The hobbyist scanners are very powerful, and some of them will surprise you. And I'm going to give you two examples of the ones I'm currently using. I don't have any more expensive scanners because I haven't needed them yet. All right, let's get into it. All right, we're going to talk about the OBD Auto Doctor. This is a software that I use and the point is this is a straight scanner. You can buy it off of Amazon, or you can buy any scanner that works with this. And it says here, any OBD scanner tool, and then you can use it with your computer, you can use it with your laptop, your iPad, you can use it with your iPhone, or you can even use it with a Droid device. So that's the nice part about it. It tells you how to buy it, how to get it. I get it through iTunes and just pay for it that way. I have a full subscription. As you can see, it's for Mac and PC. There's different costs, mobile, Android, iPhone. And then if you have any issues, it tells you what adapters you can use, etc. You can check them out on YouTube. I've been using them for years. I love this. It's a straight simple. It's not very complicated. It'll also give you some options to clear some codes, which I'll show you in a few minutes that I did on a pickup. All right, next is an adapter that I've been using. I love a lot. It's called Carly, and this one's used for BMW, Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, you see here. And this one's a little bit more high advanced, and you can do a lot more things with it and do a little bit more in-depth computer work, and especially for BMW. From what I'm figuring out, this is more of a BMW focused or a Volkswagen focused or higher end Mercedes, Mini, etc. But there's others out there for other different brands, but it will work for any brand of car. It's just what features will it provide. Now the key is you want to go to figure out what features it'll provide. Just go select your car brand. Down to BMW is what I'm going to use it for, and I'm going to show you also in a video what I can do with it and how powerful it is. And it's really nice. Select your country. Next step. Now what I'm showing you is this is an idea of what car scanners can do. I'm using BMW because that's what I know, but definitely not the only end-all be-all. You can use it for other things as well. But you go to Carly, it tells you what you can do. You can do diagnostics, engine checks, emission checks. Live data means that we can look at the engine. I'm going to show you a little bit of that later. And then further on down, the cool part is you can do use car check, do digital garage. You'll keep an eye of any codes that you have and then keep them stored after you've cleared them from your car, but you can keep them stored and then you go back. Coding is one of the biggest reasons why I got this. You can customize your car and change some functions. So for example, in the United States, the lawyers have basically got involved and caused some functions to be disabled in BMWs and other cars as well, but I know BMWs, as I mentioned earlier. Some functions have been disabled because the lawyers have gotten involved because people have gotten hurt. Now, where in Europe, where the tort laws are much stronger and prevent people from getting sued, there's functions that are available on BMWs that you don't have in the US. Well, this coding will allow me to code it for European standards for certain functions in the car. Things like the hatch can go up and down. Without it, you can actually change what mirrors are going to do, your lights are going to do, a lot of other things. A lot of geeky stuff for your car, but that's what you want to do. That's available for this. And that's one of the big reasons why I bought this and to use it. Also have a BMW iDrive, which is a BMW thing, exhaust flap. Basically, that makes your exhaust a little louder while you're driving away, etc. You can service reset, and that's also a big thing, is if you put a new battery in your vehicle, in a BMW, and I believe Mercedes is the same way, you have to tell the computer that there's a battery out there and sync to that new battery and reset it and know that. transmission, you can do that. Park and brake reset. There's also a service reset. So if you do some servicing on the vehicle, to reset those things like changing your brakes or changing your oil. On the newer cars these days, you have to do that. So that's why Carli is really effective and useful for what I'm using it for. As I mentioned, it's other brands as well. Now this is, I think, around a $79 function for the full pricing and plans. We can go check it real quick. I think, yeah, it's $69 for the adapter, and then the pricing, the license was $5.33 a month. They're billed every 12 months. So you're looking at somewhere around $100, which is really nice. I've already used more than $100 worth of functions on this thing, and I'll show you later in the video what those functions are. Now those are two good examples of simple scanners you can buy off the street or off of Amazon and then use them on your iPhone. Now other scanners I'm going to show you a little bit more advanced or a little bit more expensive, but these Carli's right around $100. Or OBD Doctor, Auto Doctor, I think I paid $30 for the adapter, and then I also paid $20 for a full year subscription on this. Now, obviously, as anything, as you pay more, you get more functions, and I'll show you that with the other scanners. All right, well, that's two different functions and two different scanners that you have options to use. If you're just getting into it, I would encourage you to kind of use this as OBD Auto Doctor. I use them a lot. I like them. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do like them, and I would tell you I've had a lot of success with them, and they've saved me a lot of money fixing things. Carli, again, I enjoy it as well. I'm not sponsored by them, but I like what they're doing, and I've enjoyed using their system for the BMWs. Alrighty, we'll move on. All right, next on the list is we got what I call the semi-professional or professional scanners. They range anywhere between $600 to $2,000 and have major functions that can be done a lot to your car. I mean, anything from checking the oil, to checking your transmission, to looking at the engine itself, inside individual computers. And then once you can get inside those individual computers, you can do individual tests of those computers themselves. And those tests sometimes are required, for example, to bleed the brakes or to check to see if the system's working or even check your suspension. So sometimes you need these computers to check your computer inside your car. Now, if you have one of those computers that goes bad and needs to be put in the car, this scanner will also code it for you and allow you to be compatible with the new car that it's in. So as you can see, these scanners are very, very powerful. They're also very expensive. Are they needed for the average hobbyist? No, they're not, but they're also handy if you have the budget for them. A little bit of glimpse of what those cost. All right, on to the next. Alrighty, we got my loaner vehicle here. It had some engine codes on the dash. So we're going to use this as a good example to check out what those codes are and why they're there. So we're going to go walk through that process. We're going to plug the scanner in down here. Plug that in. We've got the little flashy lights going on there. Alright, once you plug that in, you can go to the Wi-Fi and look for on your iPhone or whatever your Android is, your Wi-Fi. Connect the two. Once that's connected, you go to your app, hit the sync button. Now it's connected and it's going to be looking for it. So now it's connected to the vehicle. Now it's connected, you can tell what's going on with the vehicle itself. All right, now that we have that scanner in there, it tells us what's going on with the vehicle and the engine coolant temperature, intake temperature, it's cold out, there's the RPM, all that fun stuff. So we know we got a trouble code, so we'll go down here to the trouble codes and look for trouble codes. It says diagnostic trouble codes, 1 pending, 3 permanent, 1 confirmed. So we look at that. It says vent control system back, evap control system, evap control system, all those fun stuff. So what those are is you want to take a screenshot of those, and then what we'll do is we'll go to our magical laptop sitting on the couch and enjoy that and do a little bit of research while we have those. But what we really want to do is see if we can reset those trouble codes. Prepare the engines off, make sure the key is on, the engine is off. So we'll shut the engine off. Hit OK, clear diagnostic information. Now that's why you want to make sure you make a screenshot of those codes, because once they go away, they're going to go away. All right, ignition on, engine off, so click OK. Clearing the diagnostic codes, yes, we'll do that. Hit clear, reset. All right, so you saw it says cleared the confirm, permanent, or 3 there. We'll try it one more time. All right, so there's 3 permanent codes. There's not anything pending or current. There's a permanent code. So those are codes that we have to fix and figure out what's going on. So we'll diagnose those and figure out what these codes are. Okay, now that we got these codes, we're gonna do some research. We're gonna pop these codes into the Google here. And look, we got P0042. It means that the evaporator control has a leak detected, small leak. According to this, you're looking at, it just pops up many different codes. Common code is gonna be the filler cap. Okay, the next one we got is a P0449. What that is a vent valve failure. And you type that in and it pops up a bunch of information as well. Common issues with these codes are evap failures 449, and then we also have difficulty starting, etc. This is what the vent looks like. So this is kind of getting an idea that we have an evaporation leak. Now you pipe in the other one, 455, and it recognizes there's a large leak. All these 3 codes mean that there's a leak. Now you want to check the fuel filler cap first to make sure that's not it, but it's probably, if you get 3 different codes, it's probably not the issue. It's probably going to be a combination of the vent and the combination of maybe the vent valve itself. So that's where you want to get started. Use a little internet to get things going and kind of doing a little research there. You can look at that vent valve and maybe check it. It's not that expensive, so you maybe replace it and then see that fixes it. There you go, a little bit of code scanning to help you do a little bit of maintenance. Featured car for today is the 2015 X5. This is the girlfriend's beautiful X5. It has a little bit of codes that I know they're in the computer, so we're going to use that to start getting into it, so we'll get going. Okay, we're out here in the BMW. They have their diagnosis port all in the same spot. Most cars do. It's down here in the footwell, down in this area. So it's either going to be up in this area like it was in the Chevy that I showed you, but in this particular case, it's up in the BMW. It's going to be all the way up in here, this corner up here. Zoom in there. So that's where this goes. We can plug in this. We know it's there. There's a little flashing light in there, so we're good. Dash is on. We're going to start the car. And there is no current faults or any lights on the dash as far as faults are concerned. But we're going to go through and check the computer to see what it's telling us. So we're going to start there and kind of find if there's any issues there. If they are, we're going to try to clear them out or do some research, figure out what's causing them. Okay, now what we're going to do is grab the Carly app, hit the connect to that adapter that we just plugged in. The app's going to look for it. It's going to go through the whole process here. All right, now it's looking inside the car, it's checking it out, looking to see what's going on with the car. Now I just hit the check button, and what it's going to do is check for codes throughout the car. That's going to go through this. It might take a little while to get going here. All right, so as it walks through the process, I kind of skip forward a little bit here, but it's going through and finding some issues. Now there's some issues that I know that are there, and then some that may be a surprise to me. Now we have this airbag issue, and this was a known problem. Girlfriend called me about 3 weeks ago, a little bit frantic, saying that she'd spilled her water all over her seat, and then she immediately got a code on her dash. So that's what was the cause of this code. I started earlier the car, there was no fault on the dash, but it's stored in the system here. And this is the result of that water being on there. So this tells you sensor failure due to moisture. Now what I'm going to do is snap a photo of it, make sure it's there, try to clear this code because it should not be there anymore. There's no indication of code on the dash. Once it's cleared, it gives you a chance, hey, you want to recheck or do you want to see if it's been cleared? Now, as you see, the airbag code is no longer there. Okay, now I'm going to go walk through all these other systems that have issues and kind of see what's there, kind of walk through them. I'm not going to take you through every one of them. I'm going to clear out some of them and then we'll address them as we get to them. So here I'm going through and clearing them out. I've looked at some of these. Some of these I'm aware of from previous issues I've looked at this car. It had a steering wheel removed and replaced under warranty, and they didn't clear the codes. So that's what some of these are. And then some of them are new. There's a sunroof in there, one that I just deleted, and that was, her sunroof got jammed. So what we did is we went through the reset process, cleared that out, and then I wasn't around with the code scanner to help clear that code, but she was able to get the sunroof working, and so that's why that code is still there. Okay, here's a wheel sensor that's got bumps, so I'm going to snap a photo of that, make sure it doesn't come back. Then we'll go ahead and clear this, get rid of it, and then if it pops back up, we know that the sensor wasn't adjusted correctly. Again, it asks if you want to do the check again. Going through a few others, make sure I want to see how these are done, make sure they're cleared out. Now you see they're all clear, they're all done. Recently checked, they're all clean. Now what we're going to do is going to check the whole system again, see if anything pops back up, and if it is, then those are items that we'll have to look through. Now you can see it's starting to populate. I kind of sped it up. Starting to populate with a few systems, a few issues. Some of these are known issues that I've caused, doing some software changes, as well as some modifications to the engine. Shows up, okay, there's some on the engine, some on the radio. Look at the radio, look at this. Position not possible for over 10 minutes. Well, we haven't moved the car, so it's gonna give you an error there. All right, we'll look at the rest of these, see how they do. All right, so it's showing an air filter code here, but that's a problem that I'm used to seeing because the aftermarket air filter I put in this car. Now you look at the rest of the stuff, it says acceptable, or the rest of them are passing all green there, including that airbag that I cleared. So that's kind of an idea where we're at now. So then you can look down the rest of things. You have customization. Now we're going to go to the live data. I'm going to start logging, and then what's going to do is going to populate all the information from the car and the ones I've chosen, and tells you what's going on with the engine, RPM, boost pressure, and this is good for other diagnostic information when you look at the car. Next is that you can look at the mileage information, fault information, plus the community you can look at. Additionally, at the top, you see, look how much money supposedly we saved, according to them, by not having to go to the dealer. Alrighty, we just walked through all these car scanners. I showed you one that was for the pickup. That was a pretty straight, simple one. We walked out, went out to California, checked out the girlfriend's BMW, did some code scanning on that, and saw some issues with that. We talked about that as well. More importantly, I hope you get an idea about how important these code scanners are for you in basic troubleshooting. Remember, they're not end all to be all. You have to use your mind and start double checking things and doing some research to think about what these code scanners are going to do for you. Remember, if you're not careful, you can run down a rabbit hole and think the problem is this when maybe the problem is the other direction. Do your research, dig into it. Remember, this is going to be for those learning. This is more of a level 3, level 4 stuff. You got to think about how a car works, those items that attach to the vehicle, what they are telling you, individual computers. So this stuff is a little bit more advanced. Code scanners can be a lifesaver, but they can also send you down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. So be careful with that. If you know somebody could benefit from my videos, please suggest those to them. We're trying to increase the viewership here, the subscribership, so I can put out some better content. If you want to see something different, please let me know in the comments. Like I said earlier in my last videos, I wouldn't say I'm stabbing in the dark, I'm just going along a method I think that you might need. But as a new mechanic and you might have a question about something that hasn't been covered here, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to put a video together for that. All right, please smash that subscribe button, hit that notification button, check out the Instagram. You're gonna find out other stuff coming out and any updates of delays of videos or updates for the videos or anything sneak peeks. So please, thanks for being a mechanic, learn to be a mechanic safe. Talk to you guys later.